Narcissists never fully recover from one person, the super empath they destroyed. Most people assume that once a narcissist ends a relationship, they simply move on, no looking back. They imagine a clean replacement, one partner swapped for the next, the past conveniently forgotten. And on the surface, that's exactly what it looks like. The narcissist appears happy, confident, completely unbothered by the damage they caused. But here's what most people don't understand. There is one type of person a narcissist never truly gets over, and that's the super empath they underestimated, used, and ultimately destroyed. A super empath isn't like the average person a narcissist encounters. They carry deep compassion, sharp emotional intelligence, and an almost unnatural patience. While most people walk away after the first real red flag, the super empath stays, not out of weakness, but because they genuinely believe people can change. They see potential where everyone else sees dysfunction. They see wounds where everyone else sees cruelty. And that's exactly what makes them the narcissist's favorite source of supply. In the beginning, the narcissist feels powerful around them, admired, understood, forgiven, without ever having to earn it. Every mistake gets excused. Every conflict gets smoothed over. Every time the narcissist pulls away, the super empath leans in harder to reconnect. It feels like an endless well of emotional fuel that could never possibly run dry. But even the strongest empath has a limit, and there's a moment, quiet but absolute, when the super empath finally sees the relationship for exactly what it is. They stop listening to the words and start watching the actions. They stop excusing the behavior that keeps hurting them. They stop calling manipulation love. This shift doesn't happen overnight, but once it happens, nothing is ever the same again. Here's the part that should terrify every narcissist, but rarely does until it's too late. The most dangerous thing that can happen to them isn't losing someone who hates them. It's losing someone who truly loved them and finally sees through them completely. Because the super empath knows them, the charm, the insecurity, the manipulation, the hidden fear underneath the mask. Once that person stops believing the performance, the narcissist loses the one person who actually understood who they really are. And replacement never works the way they expect it to. New relationships happen, new attention arrives, new pictures get posted, new validation gets chased. But somewhere underneath all of it, they know. Most people can be controlled for a while. The super empath connected on a level almost nobody else ever could, and that depth is nearly impossible to recreate. The narcissist always assumed the forgiveness was unlimited, that the patience would never run dry, that they could keep taking without ever paying for it. That assumption becomes their biggest mistake, because when a super empath finally walks away, emotionally, not just physically, they don't leave as the same person who walked in. The one who used to beg to be understood goes silent. The one who used to chase closure stops chasing entirely. The one who used to fight for the relationship starts pouring all of that energy back into themselves. And that transformation is something a narcissist simply cannot control. Narcissists are used to power, used to being the center of someone's emotional universe, used to knowing they can return whenever they need attention or reassurance, and the door will still be open. But when a super empath heals, really heals, that door closes. And for a narcissist, that's one of the most unbearable realities there is. So many of them keep checking, sometimes directly, a message, a sudden reappearance, sometimes quietly through social media, mutual friends, subtle ways of staying informed. They want to know one thing. Are you still thinking about me? Do I still matter to you? And what they usually find is the one answer they never expected. The super empath isn't waiting anymore, isn't chasing validation anymore, isn't trapped in the cycle that once controlled them. And that discovery cuts deeper than almost anything else, straight into the narcissist's ego. The real irony? Narcissists destroy the exact people they needed the most. Loyalty, understanding, emotional depth, genuine care. None of that can be manufactured or easily found again. But they were so consumed with control that they never appreciated what they had until it was already gone. And over time, the comparisons start haunting them. Every new connection feels a little thinner. Every new relationship is missing something they can't quite name. They'll rarely admit it out loud, but somewhere, quietly, they know exactly what and who they lost. This doesn't mean the narcissist suddenly grows self-aware or starts taking responsibility. Most of them keep blaming everyone but themselves. But underneath all of that, there's a low, constant hum of awareness that they destroyed something that could have been different. Not because the super empath was perfect, but because they cared in a way that's genuinely rare. That's why narcissists never really recover from losing the super empath they destroyed. It was never just losing a partner. It was losing the one person who saw past the mask, believed in who they could be, and loved them anyway. And once that person is gone, the narcissist spends years chasing a replacement that never quite measures up. Meanwhile, the super empath heals, rebuilds, moves forward. They learn their worth was never tied to the narcissist's approval. They take back the energy they spent trying to save someone who never wanted to save themselves. And while the super empath keeps growing, the narcissist stays exactly where they were, stuck in the same patterns that cost them everything in the first place. That might be the most fitting consequence of all. The super empath recovers from the narcissist. The narcissist never recovers from losing them.